40 shocking years.
the band from hell.
1.3 million album sales, 22 releases, 319 songs, 200 million streams, and 50 million video views. 2,601 shows, 2 million tickets sold, 2,418 politicians and public figures killed, decapitated, flayed, or otherwise eviscerated on stage.
They've already been banned.
Banned in 3 countries in the 90s. 10 feature-length films, 11 comic books, 26 TV appearances, 3 strategic war games, 1 crack-addicted dinosaur. 347,559 parents terrified, 4 popes enraged, 2 arrests, 1 phallus confiscated, 0 convictions. 1 bar, countless tragedy, 2 Grammy nominations, 40 years of shock rock, still your lords and masters.
Lord lives, motherfucker!
And still, Beavis and Butthead's favorite band. GWAR, 40 shocking years.
Imagine Alice Cooper with about 1/100th the money.
If the Cramps had been a heavy metal band.
Crazy as H, blood-splattered, ear-splitting hilarity.
The Wizard of Oz meets splatter horror films.
The gag is, you're in the splash zone.
You're covered with goo and blood, and if you're not completely soaked, you didn't have a haunted garage show.
It's like going to a horror movie, except it's actually happening.
It's basically walking into the most brutal, gory film right in front of your face.
It was probably the best part of my life.
I think of him as a guy with commitment to his art.
That's Dookie. I mean, he wants to take it as far as he can take it.
You gotta see this band.
Wait a minute, you're gonna get this.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, why does it always put me in the corner? Stop putting Kevin in the corner. Okay, there I am. Hello, it's me, Kevin Vonesper. Welcome back to the GWARPod. Hopefully you've been here before. Can you believe it? This is like our 42nd episode. I mean, how many people can I talk to GWAR about? I'm going for at least 100. We'll see how it goes. I'm back in my GWAR cave, of course. It's just gonna have to expand at some point because GWAR keeps unleashing products onto us. I have some news about that later. It's just there's so much GWAR things happening right now. GWAR related things, albums, toys, tribute bands. It's nuts. And of course, amongst the mix is the new music video for Lot Lizard. A new GWAR music video, yes, for the new, I guess it's an EP / comic book sort of situation, called The Return of Gorgor. And we're going to talk about the video and a bunch of other stuff tonight on the GWARPod. Are you guys ready? Are you with me? I know there's a couple of people saying hello to each other in the comment section. Hello, hello, hello. Of course, whether you're watching this now or later, I have, you know, if you do the super chats, that's cool. I'm not like asking for your money, but it does cost me to do this show. And I always do this at a loss because I just love it. But so if you just love me, you know, feel free to send me money at any time. And with that being said, let's get into the GWARPod.
GWARPod comes from on GWARPod. 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 GWARPod.
Yeah. Hello. Mike Manasweitsch, did I say it right?
You got it, you nailed it.
I win. I win the GWARPod tonight.
The hard part is done.
Yes, I know. Easy sailing from here. Okay, I have questions for you, and first I want to share this screen. This is your website, right? Your Blockbuster. First of all, you got to put the GWAR video up on here.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if anybody goes to .coms or .orgs anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
so.
Easy, the whole, yeah. So it's blockbustervideo.org is my website /name. Was a former Blockbuster employee.
That was going to be my first question.
course,
Because I was going to say this logo looks a little familiar.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'm aiming for that cease and desist. You know,
I know.
that's one of the career goals is to get them to tell me to stop working at Blockbuster. But yeah,
I mean, it's amazing. Nobody else has this website, and you just kind of took it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's also with how hard it is to say my last name. I needed something that was easier to point in, spell, and say my last name.
Right.
Manasweitsch, and it's not spelled like that. But to be honest, I realized after I made this, I thought it was so clever. I was like checking so many times, blockbustervideo.org to see what was available. Am I typing this right? Am I spelling this right?
Right.
And then I realized
that's what I kept checking too.
I know. And then I have to give credit because I didn't rip it on purpose, but I did realize that there's a free blockbustervideo.org, and it's like imagine I haven't been to the website, but the way it came into my my orbit was there is a decommissioned news machine, newspaper vending machine. What would you call those? Can you picture? You put a quarter and you get a newspaper. Imagine. So there's one sitting around on the corner next to my house, and somebody for years now it's been painted blue with free blockbustervideo.org, where you're supposed to like one of those communal libraries.
Oh, it's just freeblockbuster.org.
Oh, free Blockbuster, sure. But I like walked by it and I was like, oh man, like that's obviously where that idea came from.
Well, that's great.
So shout out to them at least, you know, but yes, all my work's available at blockbustervideo.org. You can see all the music videos I made. I've reduced it to just music videos. I have a lot of comedy.
And take a look. Look, here it is.
Yeah, now we're on track.
So let's see what this even is. I don't even know. Franchise.
This
is already way off the rails, but I'm curious. Like, okay,
that's what I think. It's basically somebody who's taking decommissioned newspaper vending machines, newsstands. I don't want to call them newsstands. It probably says here.
Yeah,
they're called. But whatever, and spray painting blue, putting a little Blockbuster logo on it, and you're supposed to, leave a tape, take a tape, leave a tape type of concept. Mostly VHS. So pretty cool thing. I've only seen one. It's next to I live in Franklin Village here in Los Angeles, and it's right next to the Gelsons, and it's been there for years. And
is there anything ever in it?
I would say I never even opened it. I just walked by and went, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And obviously, the logo strikes and resonates. And then
from what I
gathered, blockbustervideo.org is available. And
and
then I thought I was so clever for a good 6 months, and I walked by that. I'm like, but anyways, I've had that website for several years now. So
I mean, I thought it was
want to give the person love. Want to give the person love for the inspiration, and apologize for ripping by accident.
Well, your goal this week is to open that box and see if there's any golden nuggets inside.
Yeah,
I guess it's supposed to be like a take a movie, leave a movie kind of situation.
If I open it up and it's nothing but the things I've made in there.
Well, you know what? Do you have any stickers? You should put your sticker on top of it.
Exactly. That
would really confuse people. So you said you narrowed it down to just music videos. Do you do other work as well?
I sure do. Yeah, I sure do. A lot of big background in comedy and also kids entertainment. Nickelodeon is a big one that I do a lot of work for, and I've made a pilot for. It's the Manx with Tommy Meehan from GWAR. His band at the time, the Manx, were the house band on that show. It's called The Dumb Show. Okay. But yeah, I reduced it, and it's kind of like you can't do that on television. Just weird show where kids run around and do nonsense, kind of. And you got Eric Andre, Tim and Eric type of post humor type of garbage.
Still exists,
what's that?
Does the show still exist?
Yeah, it still exists. You can see it online, and I'm gonna be getting some more of that kind of content back there. But since the pandemic, I start hanging out with Tommy from now who is in GWAR, and we start surfing a lot together at the time when everything was closed. We start surfing more because that was one of the music videos I made for him. I guess two of the music videos I made for him. My payment was a wetsuit, and then we start surfing, and we really hit it hard during COVID because everything was easy to get to the beach in a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes, but half the time that it takes now. And and kind of a lot of those. The best part about going to the beach is driving over Malibu Canyon and just it's just really cool, fun conversations just to be in the car with your friend, especially at that time and just start making a lot of music videos around that time, and a lot of those conversations that we were having at the time to see them like kind of manifesting now, even
Right.
you know, leading to the GWAR video, leading to this and all that. So it's yeah.
So wait, which was your first Manx video?
My first Manx video was the first Manx video, I believe, which was Blood Gold, which is a video. We got a bunch of old VHS, back to VHS tapes. I got a bunch of old VHS tapes from thrift stores, and then kind of ripped them, and then composited in the members of the band, and then it kind of crescendos. It kind of crescendos to, instead of just compositing the members into old VHS footage of these kind of more like, you know, home improvement videos and kind of like straight to VHS releases, not old TV shows and stuff. So like old workout videos and you name it, and comping them in, and then it kind of crescendos into getting some live actors shot on an old tube camera to make it look like a VHS, and now those weird old looking people that look like they should be on a VHS tape are now like singing the lyrics with their mouth and saying like singing and lip flapping the lyrics. So
while you're talking about it, let's see if we can take. I didn't download this one, so I had to search it out. But we could play a little bit of it. We could do some commentaries. If you're down.
Great. I'd love to. Yeah.
So this is No, I'll just play it from here. So 2013. What?
Looks like it.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's this video.
Out of like the Dumb Show, or
what's that?
Is this on the Dumb Show, or did this have anything to do with it, or was this before that?
No, this was before the Dumb Show. This was my first time working with Tommy.
Okay.
I think I've known him. So me and the accordion player, if you're watching this stream, the accordion player here is Mike Chillian, who is you used to do the GWAR podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think most of the members of the Manx, including Tommy, were started the first GWAR podcast, the GWAR cast. And one of the reasons I started this show is because I was promoting my documentary that I'm making. I'll keep this playing. About Haunted Garage, and I was like, would you guys reunite to do a show and have me as a guest? And they said no. So I'm like, all right, well, how about I start my own show? And they're like, go for it. So they had the GWAR cast, and thanks to Tommy and all those guys for starting it. And now I have the GWARPod.
Yeah. Well, that's sick. Yeah, Mike is here's Tommy getting naked the first.
He looks so weird with short hair.
I know. I guess that's a little fun origin story. I think this is the one time he got a haircut.
Oh no!
Because he got like a real job working at Cartoon Network, and he thought he had to cut his hair. So, a little short hair. I mean, all these hairstyles look much different these days. But
I know Mike and them also made that the animated Tales of GWAR. Did you have anything to do with that?
No, not really. But it's no. So Mike, the accordion player here, is a illustrator, and he like character designed a lot of the Rick and Morty characters, and we know each other through a thing called Channel 101, which is a monthly film screening in Los Angeles, started by Dan Harmon, the creator of Community, his partner Rob Schraub, and a lot of comedy came from there. It was like a monthly screening where the audience would vote for what gets canceled and what comes back. It's kind of like Rick and Morty, and then there's a lot of like Tim and Eric are flown around there, and Lonely Island, and all these people. But that's kind of brought me together. That's how I met Mike, and that's how I met the Manx and Tommy and all those people. But Tommy was coming to screenings and getting involved, and they had some Channel 101 shows that had GWAR in them. That had GWAR in it. And I think which I think was the predecessor to doing the GWAR tune.
Yeah, and I know there was a little cameo in Rick and Morty too of some of the GWAR guys in the background, like a shadow
Yeah, they mentioned that. They're when I was shooting the Lot Lizard video, Bishop brought that up, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. That's so cool. They're in the intro, but yeah, Mike slipped them in there. Besides that,
Yeah.
there's also like illustrations of a lot of his friends.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure someone needs to do like a diagram of all the background characters. We got Blood Gold as a crazy music video, one of my favorites, among with Plasma Rib.
Yeah, that's the
Manx.
one.
Yeah, I'm not as well versed in the Manx. Like I've seen them
That's
all,
okay.
I think, but you know, the other bands that you've worked with him probably are more to my interest.
Oh no, definitely.
Do you have a favorite of like all the Tommy's crazy bands?
I mean, I just liked all the Squid Pisser stuff we're doing lately. I think that's the one I've also have my hand in the most. I mean, as much as the Manx stuff definitely is my fingerprints on it too. But it was such a collective of different ideas. But Squid Pisser was definitely just
So let's skip to Squid Pisser. Let me pull up a video and we'll watch it. Because it's a visual show and I can do that.
Yeah.
Did I do this right? No. Technical difficulties.
It's okay. But yeah, Squid Pisser kind of like I remember that's just a.
I know this was
talking about surfing.
Sorry, comes in like a fucking hurricane.
Yeah, it's fine. You go ahead.
This is the first time I saw Squid Pisser.
Yeah. So that's Mike Chillian pretending to be in Squid Pisser in the band.
Oh yeah, because they only had like 2 members at the
Uh-huh.
time, right?
Exactly, and then Bob is the other guy who's in what's that called? What band is Seth in? I'm blanking.
Cancer Christ?
No. I'll get this. Give me a moment.
Is it another Tommy band?
No, Arrow's the lead singer, and Seth's the drummer. Whatever. I'll think of it in a minute.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got it. They're big. You'll see.
So, wow. I mean, I guess I know that the idea for Squid Pisser is kind of like we don't really know what the idea for Squid Pisser is even now. Did you like help create any of the lore or like you know the visuals that would propel them?
I can speak to that. Yeah, like I mean, definitely this is I'm definitely following Tommy's lead. I think that's in general what I like doing is finding weirdos and then filming them. So just try to keep it like a hangout atmosphere where you get kind of good performances out of everybody, because just harkening back to the sleepover mentality of like, let's pick up a camera and make something really stupid.
Yeah.
So a lot of this in the process of it was Tommy, here's us at the beach, was Tommy kind of figuring it out in real time. Like I remember him putting this pink coat on and being like, oh, I didn't picture it kind of having this glam rock look, but I'm digging it.
Yeah.
So it's not from my brainchild, but it's I hope to create atmospheres where we can be fluid like that and just be making up stuff. So I think it really lent to it. But no, definitely Tommy's ideas. And it was cool to be there from the beginning of it. Like I said, we were surfing a bunch at the time, and just him. I think at the time he was in Cancer Christ, and maybe the Manx was still around, and Gwar was still in the future, not in the picture yet. But it's him being like, well, then I got this other band. They got this other band. I'm like, you got to say the name of it, and just having him be like, I just won't forget that moment of like being with somebody and having to like them speak the name the first time. It's like you probably only said that out loud a couple times,
right?
But I believe Squid Pisser is a name of a song from a band he had in high school called Razzle Blaster, or the band he moved to Los Angeles with.
Right. I think I
Radford
talked to
High
him
School.
about that. Yeah, because I actually had him on my my other show, GWARPod, talking about Squid Pisser like a year before he was even in Gwar. So I was like ahead of the game on that, and I was already doing this show. That was like right before Cancer Christ went on tour with them, and he was like couldn't even announce that yet.
That's so cool.
So now it's like, oh my god, everything's blown up since then.
Yeah, it was really cool. I got to see him at House of Blues in Anaheim, and it was just so cool to see that. It's one thing that's very cool about making music videos is when songs hit, when you're watching them live, when something and you feel like it's like everyone likes the song, but like I like it in a different way. When you like have sat there with a music video for months, you like know that is like absolutely true, and you're like, it was so cool to see that starting out, and at that time it was, you know, we made that music video and it was just him and the drummer.
Yeah.
It was just him and the drummer Seth, and Starcrawler is the name of the other band that he's in.
Okay, gotcha.
Searching for. So Bob
Yeah, I've
from
never
Star.
listened to them.
Yeah, me neither.
Is it
I mean, yeah, a little
similar,
bit.
or what's
No, not at
Starcrawler?
all.
No,
Not at all.
okay.
Not at all. Not whatsoever.
I mean, what a crazy drummer to be able to pull off all that crazy beats.
I think there's some kind of story there, and I'll give you my version of it because Seth or Tommy will tell it way better. But from what I recall was something along the lines of Seth's brother. I was saying Squid Pisser is a Razzle Blaster, the name of a Razzle Blaster song, I think, that somehow, and they're living in North Carolina, and Seth's older brother got a cassette tape from maybe Tommy at a show when he's visiting Los Angeles, and it wound up with Seth, and Seth somehow got it, and he's like, I want to be in a band like this, and then, yeah, kind of very serendipitous circumstance, but yeah, Squid Pisser is really awesome. I did that video, and the next video I did for them was the first video that their guitar player Michael joined, and that was the first day like Tommy met him, and he just kind of walked in and knew the
Which
songs.
one is
and
that?
That one's both.
Both. Okay, I got that one. Let's watch both. I mean, these videos are so short, like we could just play them all.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's like, yeah. With Squid Pisser's first album, it's a different singer for each track.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tommy
Which
sings
I
on
have
one, and
somewhere. Oh.
Yeah, my
There
Pet
it is.
Legion.
Oh no, that's the
Pet
album.
Legions.
Yes, I
This
have
one.
it somewhere. There it is.
Wait, no, damn,
Yeah.
not that one.
Uh-oh. See, we both messed up.
Yeah.
Everyone hold up your
Everyone-
Squid Pisser stuff.
But
Well, let me ask
yeah, I
you
mean,
this while
I was definitely, it was very cool to see Tommy, go in the direction of, I was definitely encouraging him, but he struggled making that first music video, Liquefied Remains. Just to see him figure out what to do with his body without a guitar in his hand.
Right. Yeah, that is also interesting.
So that was cool. That was like a cool experience to see someone work through. But yeah, and it was
So I'll put on let me put on both, and before that let me ask you this as like a lead-in question, just a general question. Or you kind of maybe already answered it, but I'll start by saying, like, I make music videos as well. I'm a videographer. I'm not quite as, I don't know. I don't mess with the After Effects as much, although I probably should. But I basically, when a band wants me to work with them, I kind of just show up, and I don't even know what's happening until I get there, and I just kind of shoot what's in front of me, And do you have that kind of approach generally, or is it different from video to video?
A little bit. I mean, I love that approach because that gives you a nice, honest intro to it, into the band of how like anybody else who's watching the video presumably is experiencing it the same way, right? I mean, not necessarily this. There's fan turning on, but for a lot of part, for a large part of their unknown bands are going to be turning it on. You need to impress people, so it's what you take from it just by rolling up without too much forethought is really great. But no,
it's like, hey, you put me in a cool location with cool people, like I'll just capture it,
Exactly. I mean, that's I think there's a commonality there, because that's what I was saying. It's like, give me some weirdos and like I'll film them and we'll figure it out,
Well, this seems like it has a little bit more going on. There's a lot of like crazy transitions. Is this all like just on a green screen or what?
This part's all green screen stuff, and this one is figuring out as it goes. There's probably like a couple parts that we made special for it, but I think I had them like, because it looks like, I think this one is mostly, we had them run the performance in the stage, and then we cut other things where it's not tethered to any lyric. So I do think I figured this one out as we went very much. But with the Lot Lizard music video, I'll get to in a second, but that's and also the plasma rib tank for the Manx that was touched upon earlier. It's there's a couple, we made it animatic by like ripping just you know, like for example, for the Lot Lizard, it was like we used like Evil Dead footage for them from the POV of camera running to be like, that's going to be there because it was a very tight turnaround on that video. So to be able to shoot and edit it in such a short amount of time, so I think we did that within like 12 days. I think we turned it. Yeah, I flew up to Richmond April 1st and then turned it in on the 14th. So I guess 14
Holy
days.
crap! Wait, you edited too?
Yeah, exactly. And we were in Richmond, and I was in Richmond. We went out there like 4 days early, so that I wasn't just rolling up, not knowing anything about the city and trying to play catch up, because I've done shoots out of town before, and that is one of the struggles. Is just there's jet lag, but it's like creative lag. You're like you're landing and you're like, this is my Airbnb. I got to wake up in the morning and shoot something. It's very difficult. So got there early to scout stuff out and just kind of understand what we'd have access to, even because you can't just. Can we go inside a Waffle House? Like, what's it all? So, like, just kind of.
That is a question I have. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely play that as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I know we're playing both, but just to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in this video. That was a crazy video. That seems like it would have been a lot.
So I'd say, just watching that, and you're asking about the approach, and I know we're all over the place, but I think.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's going to be different each video.
Kind of like Tommy's music.
Yeah, exactly, and that's and probably the way it's when me and Tommy are hanging out, that's what it. It's just that's kind of what our conversations probably sound like for anybody who's listening to them, where it's interspersed with giggling and then just like I don't know. I think it's a good combination where I like simultaneously feel very much on the same page and not reading the same book at the same time. We're on the same page in different books, but we're like speed like where it comes together is like a lot of fun and a lot of magic and just that music video we just watched now both we shot the performance first. Michael was who's now the guitar player. That was his first day meeting Tommy. Tommy gave him the playthroughs. He rolled up to our friend's house. We had that little stage situation in his backyard. He put the mask on and his performance were just like outstanding. It just like really did feel like such a like a lot of Tommy's moves in a weird way, but totally made it his own and nailed it. We shot some green screen stuff, just had him play it through a couple times. And then the other stuff in that video, I think I went and bought a mannequin and we're like, we need some more shots. And so then it was just me and Tommy doing stuff with the mannequin. And then I think we had one other day sandwiched in between those where Seth came over and we, ordered pizza and just I don't know how they shot with the cat and just kind of cut it together. But there's other videos where I am being more precise. One being the Lot Lizard and the other one being the plasma Riz tanks. You'll see that at some point, maybe not on this podcast, but it's just that one's just so kind of like
watch that one.
I mean, I guess it's a yes, it's great for how terribly stupid it is, and it's kind of I just feel like it's kind of a new music video every 30 seconds or every 10 seconds maybe. It's kind of a long song. And
well, we can talk over it.
Yeah, you'll see. There's plenty of visuals to talk over. This is before I was Blockbuster.
Where did you get that monster?
That was made by Max, who's the drummer in this band, who's an amazing stop motion artist.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's already like a ton of stuff going on right now.
Yeah. But yeah, got some weird cake faces. So I have an animatic to this and I have a cut of it where the animatic lays right over it and you're like, I can't believe we made this thing. Like we have drawings of animated face and we have like shots of people getting hit with pies, and it's not like a true one-for-one shot, but it just using it inspiration for such a weird visual thing that I don't know, I guess when I'm talking about Channel 101 and my background in comedy, I think that's where it comes into play, is that it's always yes-anding your partner. And so we're both like sitting there, and that's a great thing that Tommy could do too, is this for this in saying, being on the same page, different books, just like I'll say something and then it's like what he comes back with is what I wasn't thinking about, whatever. And then it pings back to me and I pong it back to him and I say something weird and then we're like on some other tangent, but that needs to start with some kind of foundation where like, no, this is the fish bag scene. You can't just, pull anything out of there. So.
Wow. And what do you edit in?
Premiere and After Effects.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This seems like this just looks to me as someone who's a video editor, that it just like this looks like a lot of work.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
why did anyone put this much work into this video?
Yeah, no, I think that's, I think that would be a really good, like, if you're gonna put like little quotes of like, you know, like to sell my work, I'd be like, why did anybody put this much work
Yeah,
into a video?
it's cool.
Would be, you know, a thing I would like to hang my hat on. You know, I do, I think that's my artistic style is over delivering.
Yeah, like did you like for a video like this? Do you just have footage and then you play with it, or do you like map out like every second of
Oh,
it?
that's what I'm saying. I have an animatic to this
storyboarded?
one. I have an animatic to this one that's like a
Right,
shot for
right.
shot for like
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, and it's a lead. You could see the representation, but each section is like on the cuts and whatever.
Mhm.
And so it's like here, it's like people doing, you know, juvenile pranks, but it's like we get there and like you're saying on the day, you just kind of figure it out. This is Nightblade part. Yeah.
And then just a bunch of After Effects, like weird stuff over it.
Yeah, just being, yeah, and that's again when I'm like shooting, I think having non-compartmentalized approach to creativity where I'm like, I do After Effects, I do it practical, I do whatever. I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just trying to make something that's visually interesting to watch that accompanies the music in a way that I don't know, kind
It's
of
definitely
instinctually hear
manic.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just rather have it be confusing than boring.
Yeah. Well, here's a question from the audience. How did you get into producing music videos to begin with? Was it all networking and connection in LA, or was it other factors?
All right, so I moved out to Los Angeles like right when I graduated high school, or I guess went to like junior college for like a half a minute and did some like video program, and then got a advice from a substitute junior college, you know, video produce like, because I grew up in the Bay Area and he's like San Francisco Bay Area, and he's like, why are any of you guys here? Like someone will pay you to learn this. Like I don't understand like why you would like go to class to get a certificate from a junior college.
Right.
And it wasn't like I moved the next day, but I definitely moved within the next couple. You know, I got gathered my friends. My brother was already living down LA and moved in his place and started sleeping on his couch. And I got into production by, it was a friend of a friend who got me an internship in casting. It was a lady who did the casting for Lord of the Rings and Back to the Future.
Wow.
Victoria
video.
Burrow, thank you. And so she, and that led to another casting internship, and that casting director started producing a movie. The movie is called Neo Ned with Jeremy Renner and Gabrielle Union, where Jeremy Renner plays a neo-Nazi and Gabrielle Union plays a lady who thinks that she's the reincarnation of Hitler, and they meet each other and have a love story in a Saturday mental asylum and then run away. But anyways, on that shoot, I met some friends who got me involved in Channel 101. My friend Willie, who actually came out and worked on the Lot Lizard music video with us. We started talking about what we wanted to do because I was in the casting. This casting thing, this lady started making this movie. She was the head of casting at New Line Cinema, but she just left that job, so she had all these casting connects. So the cast of this Neo Ned movie is pretty incredible. Look it up on IMDb. But anyways, met this guy. I was like, I want to be on set, and I want to be a PA. I want to do anything. I don't want to like be behind a desk. I don't want to like be in production. And she's like, you should be in art department. And I'm like, I have no idea what that is. So I started working in art department, and I met a guy named Willie who was there, and we started talking about what we want to do. And it was like comedy videos, music videos, stuff like that. We're like, me too. And we went outside to go. He had to go make a delivery to some script. I'm like, I'll go with you. And we walked out to the parking lot to our cars, and we both have like the shittiest cars with the ratchet straps holding our fucking hoods on. And we're like, we're gonna be pals. So still making stuff with that guy till this day. But he got me involved in Channel 101, where I met all these people, and that's led me to Tommy. Led me to all these people, and it's led me to all these other jobs I have, for work. These music videos don't really pay a ton of money, so I'm not something you can do full time as a. I mean, I'm sure somebody can, but it's not something I'm.
It's not the '90s anymore, you know.
It's not something I'm attempting to do, but it is. There's it's the creative fulfillment, and also the closest to working with a partner. Getting your fingerprint on something and because of Channel 101, because of a lot of reasons, just more and more drawn towards doing short form. And music videos definitely one of the best versions of short form
Yeah,
content
for
there is.
sure.
And I also like, unlike comedy, the shelf life of music videos. Like it's a kind of a cool thing you can make where they improve by the degradation of them improves them. It's just like they get more weird and more time capsuled, and it's like very rewarding to make stuff with your friends that you're like feel like you're going to be able to watch this in 20 years and not be like, oh man, we're trying to be so funny or we're trying to be so dramatic on camera or like so artistic or like, oh, this is like the moment, you know, like and you're just, oh god, look at our embarrassing haircuts, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that's that. So the answer is networking, and Channel 101 definitely was a thing that was beneficial. Like that, I think it offered the same thing that I grew up going to the punk scene, and that's in going to Gilman and the Bay Area and all those kind of things, and how you would have a commonality to talk to people without trying to schmooze to make friends. You're not like approaching.
GWARP played there with Operation Ivy once.
Oh wow, I did not know that. That was
back in like 1987 or 88.
That's so badass. But yeah, the concept that you have a commonality with people, there was nothing better than Channel 101 when you made something and you're like not trying to schmooze like a Hollywood person, because that's most of these people are just dorky comedy people. So, no one wants to schmooze. But if you're like, I just watched your show, I liked your show, that joke made me laugh, I like your show, and then you build relationships off. So, I mean, if you're asking, as it pertains to yourself, how you get involved in music videos, I think it's just putting yourself in environments to meet people in a non-forceful, casual way, where what you're talking about is the content that you're making together, or the thing that you saw together, and then you'd be like, yeah. I mean, I'm sure how many bands have started from after a concert. I would imagine so many bands have started that way. And so I think just putting yourself out there and growing that Rolodex and not looking. I think that's the hard part, is everybody needs to punch up, right? Like I'm not like scouring the internet and being like, whose band can I make a music video for? Like I want to make music video. Everybody wants somebody bigger, so you need to find people like on your same exact, for whatever reason, on the same level as you or whatever, but that offer different things. And that's why these music videos have been great for me, where I don't play an instrument, but I play the camera, I play editing, and so there's a co-symbiance there, and there's equal footing, and bands naturally have that in them, opposed to other content where you're serving an actor or comedian or whatever. So that's how I got involved, was just making weird stuff with people, and that stuff has led to just
where we are right now.
Exactly, all the people I make stuff with also need jobs, and then when those jobs come up, it's we watched that Squid Piss or Both video, like that got me in a roundabout way work at Nickelodeon, because it was like, hey, we need an animation like that, like a weird, and it's like from a friend that I've known from a long time. So it takes a lot of stars to align. It really is just a preparation and continuing to make stuff that that's.
Did you watch that documentary about Nickelodeon?
Oh yeah.
That's the guy who made the GWAR documentary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Actually, I did see that. Yeah, big orange, but orange ears.
The orange ears, I think. Yeah, that's what it was.
The GWAR doc is so good. I really dug it.
Yeah, because he was my first guest on the show, because I told him like, my biggest problem with the GWAR documentary is that I didn't get to make it, so now I'm gonna do this show instead, and it's gonna be like my own GWAR documentary. We were talking about that, the orange ears, a little bit, and of course, slime always comes up, and
of course,
well, let's talk about GWAR. It's the GWARPod, right? Let's talk about GWAR. Did you have any history with GWAR as a fan? Like in the past, like what's your?
I mean, I just been around these people who have been GWAR fans forever,
right?
And the answer is that I have a close artistic connection with GWAR for a long time. That I have only been to one GWAR concert.
Oh, really?
Was at So
since Tommy's been in the band.
Since Tommy's been in the band,
yeah.
But yes, I've been friends with these people for a long. But Tommy and Mike and the whole, it's been in my periphery for a long time. From in third grade, I wrote there is an assignment where I learned about Mesopotamia and the early civilizations. And they're like, what is culture? Culture has music, and like that everybody listens to the same kind of music. They dress like they have events. And so the thing I wrote about was Beavis and Butthead, and so I was like writing about GWAR in there. So that's like I have this like book that's like writing about GWAR, and I'm making this GWAR video. That's crazy. And then when I got into set deck, our lead set dresser, or our lead set decorator, she had a GWAR bumper sticker because she did some kind of small work with GWAR or something, some kind of association. But so every time our truck would pull up to all these prop shops on the dock, they'd call us the GWAR truck. So there were all a bunch of punkers and all that stuff. So there's like that connection. And yeah, all these, like from the Cancer Crest to whatever, like GWAR, like Snake Boss is wearing a GWAR belt. It's like, or my friends are making the GWAR chain. So it's not like, it was never like, dude, gotta be, I much more like punk music and stuff like that. But it's very much a dream come true, though.
So are you gonna go backwards now? Are you a fan now, or
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It just like I get asked this kind of version of a question, from Squid Pister or whatever. Like people being like, "Do you listen to this type of music?" I'm like, more than anybody. I've literally listened to Lot Lizard probably more than like I'm in the top like 5 in the world, top 10 in the world.
Probably.
And so you have like a special relationship with it. Not only, and that's like. And that is the whole point of like doing music videos or doing any kind of art. Well, not the whole point. That's, I think, my attraction to it is to have a unique entry point. I think that might.
Let's talk about Lot Lizard specifically. Like, was there a concept in place? Like, I know this like all fits in with like the new record and the comic book and all that. Like, did you have to get caught up on all that stuff, or did you just show up with the camera like I do?
No. So we actually did a ton of prep. Believe it or not, for how which afforded the ability to be loose and stupid. But this was a new challenge for me to meet a band with pre-existing. It's not Squid Pister where Tommy could try on a jacket and be like, I didn't think it was gonna be a pink jacket. I didn't think it was gonna be glam rock, but I'm digging this. It can't be that. It has to be like, these are the rules. But when the thing that obviously gave me the levity to do whatever to operate in confidence was we're having Tommy there as such an aficionado, where he would be whatever, like making storyboards or whatever, and he would be like, I think GWAR fans would like this. I think GWAR fans like this, and it would just be like that'd be the terminus of the conversation. Like, okay, you're right, let's do it. But yeah, walk in just working on a property that has been around for 40 years, where they're. Yeah, you say this thing and you be like, that was like that terrible incident. You can't put green hats on them. That's you just don't know like what landmines you're stepping on. I'm saying so that presented unique challenges. But yes, we the origin of this, at least to my understanding, was to originally they were going to get the whole band because they don't all live in Richmond, right? Tommy's out here in LA, other people, other states, a couple of Richmond. Yeah,
Texas, I think,
and they're in Florida, exactly.
Yeah,
so, but
Mike's in Florida.
Yeah, Mike's in Florida, and Casey's in Texas. And so it was like, oh, they're all going to be together to do photo shoots of the new costumes, and then, but they wanted to do music video too, but obviously there wasn't going to be enough time. It's too small of a window.
Right.
And then Tommy was like, Mike could do it. That's like that's his jam. And like, I wouldn't want to put that in anybody's like, well. Mike won't care, and he's like, well, I should call Mike and make sure that's accurate, and it was. But in between that time, the costumes, weren't ready. Chief among them.
I was gonna say, the new costumes aren't in the video.
Exactly. So there was that, and I'm sure we didn't help. I'm sure them having to stop and accommodate for our video didn't necessarily propel it to be done any sooner either.
Right.
But it was a cool send off to be the last time they were going to be working with those costumes, I guess, or whatever. But it, so yeah, the costumes are going to be ready, but chief among those, and it's been a conversation from the beginning, was the Gorgor costume wasn't going to be ready.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I saw them like last week on that boat show, and I think the costume was still not ready.
Is that right?
I think they had a show. I think they had a festival the next day where they had to use it. So I think they had to swoop back into Richmond to pick it up.
Oh, is that what it was?
Like, I don't know all the details, but it was like, God damn.
I saw it on Instagram. It looked so
yeah,
cool.
It looks great.
They were building it when we were out there, and it just was it is just so cool. But they,
monster.
But that was the challenge of doing Lot Lizard is, Tommy put the track and all right, cool. So thematically, obviously, it's about truck stops. we don't necessarily have any truck stops. And it's about Gorgor, and we don't have a Gorgor. Like, what's this video going to be? I think it was in a Zoom meeting with Matt that Tommy's like, I got it, and just like kind of like put 2 little fingers on an iPhone, and we're like 2 little
right
arm little
that
hands
is pretty brilliant, you know.
And we're like, cool, that's the one. And then so we had them rig a whole little and at that time I think we were running the camera low to the ground, and that was kind of selling a lot of things because you could see the parallaxing of things moving by. And so we're like, I guess Gorgor is going to be like a lot smaller than I guess we'll do a tiny Gorgor. But then as we got to Richmond and kind of like we were auditioning things, and the hands were just very stiff on the camera because we had these like tiny little hands, and they're like,
Well, the baby Gorgor, you know, that was a thing too. I mean, if you ever saw, have you watched Alice in Wonderland and all that stuff?
Of course. Yep, of course.
Yeah,
No,
so
exactly.
that's like part of the story and everything too.
And I think narratively, because there's in the Return to Gorgor, I think like baby Gorgor technically would be on track 1 when he's at the circus. In the comic, so there's also all these things being thrown around. So like, they have this comic book coming out, the songs that have the narratives, and like this whole concept, and you're like, trying to be like
put it all together,
But anyways, we got there and we pivoted, and we just like used the hands, the larger Gorgor hand, and just had somebody operate them, kind of bear hugging me from behind. They put them in the foreground, and that worked. And it was a really stupid, fun, silly way to shoot.
Well, let's put it on while we're talking.
Yeah, I should send you this. And this is the last shot we did of the whole thing. It was like 4 in the morning.
Nice.
And then
I also have another question from the audience related to this. What's the hardest scene to shoot in the Lot Lizard music video?
Let's see. I mean, all the blood stuff is challenging. Let me think. The hardest scene to shoot.
Hey, it's the milk bottle.
I know, man. When I saw that.
Wow.
I saw that day 1.
I just caught that. I don't know why I haven't seen that.
Oh, cool.
Because that's the old Gary, you know?
Yeah. I'll get to what the hardest scene was in a second. Yeah. But we got there. When we got to Richmond, the first thing we did was like go to GWAR Bar, and then we walked around the corner, and Tommy showed that. I'm like, that's still around. I had no idea it would still exist. And like, took a photo of Tommy there, and it was at night, and it was very well lit. And like, we could shoot this at night. That scene was going to take place at night, but it was raining, and so we eventually like shipped things around and shipped it during the day. But I was just happy to get that in there. It's such a cool looking building, and
and it's such a piece of history for the GWAR.
Exactly.
Well, it was where they started.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was so gross.
It's chocolate milk, and it's a brand new bucket.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, but it's still. I was just like, what, Bobby? No.
I mean, this day was raining, so this day was hard.
Oh no!
But gosh, Dirks was so cool about it, just laying in the rain for so long.
Wait, whose video camera is that?
Bought it. We bought it off, Facebook Marketplace. I bought it in Richmond. I found it, and
Does it work?
It probably would. It just didn't have the proper. It didn't have the proper charging cables or anything. And and I was like, I brought so much equipment out there with me. Like I brought all my camera and my lights with me, so I couldn't bring that back home. This is the first thing we shot. But yeah, the rain day was very difficult because it was raining. The blood stuff was very difficult because you only had a couple takes with it.
Did you okay, first of all, what kind of cameras did you use to do this? And also, when the blood's coming towards it, how do you what's your method of not messing up all your cameras?
Soaked. I had 2 cameras is one, is the answer, and I shot. This is all shot on an Sony NX800, which is a very unusual camera, and I bought it.
What's unusual about it?
That it's basically, I would describe it as a professional video camera. And I feel like the trend right now is cinema cameras.
What's the difference?
So it's like
I'm like, oh God, what a terrible freeze frame.
Yeah, it's an affixed lens. It's an affixed lens with a servo zoom. And therefore the lens is communicating with the camera itself, which allows it to have like a much better stabilization, and you have a servo zoom because you can't just you don't have to like crank it, so you could actually punch in. But it's kind of it's like a camera that would have been popular. It's a style of camera that would have been popular in like 2010 or something, or 2008. Just like it's like, I guess if any camera nerds out there, like an HVX or a DVX, like the Panasonic HVX or DVX, which are like really big cameras. Those were like the first cameras that could do 24 frames as a video camera. But it's just like the way you'd match. It's like, and then the other, it just kind of looks like a eyepiece with a thing that holds out the side, and it just looks like a high-end video camera. And there's not many of those on the market. There's not, but
And is it recorded in 4K or what's the
it
quality?
does. That's the thing. It has a ton of, and it has 4K. It has 4K. You can do 120 frames per second.
4K in 2010. That's like pretty advanced.
Well, no, the new one. No, this is a brand new camera.
Okay.
It's likened to a Panasonic. And I mentioned those cameras because it's like every single thing that was like shot at Channel 101 was shot in those, like Yacht Rocked or whatever. Those are like, it was like a very standard camera that was used for every YouTube video out there for a while. But now the trend is to go towards cinematic cameras with interchangeable lenses, which is what I have, which is a Blackmagic. And I have Vedra Cinema Primes, which is a really weird cinema prime that goes, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but basically
go ahead.
It was a Kickstarter thing that, like, the camera I have has a micro four thirds camera, and it's like the only micro four thirds, I believe, micro four thirds cinema primes. And I use those kind of that shaky footage that you see on long lenses. That's one thing I'm doing, is shooting at a high frame rate, putting it on a timeline of a lower frame rate, and shooting on cinema primes. And then I also have two zoom lenses, a spherical wide angle, which I'm doing right now, a spherical wide angle, which I like to get close, which I didn't use too much on that one, and then like a long zoom. And so I used, for the band performance, I used the Blackmagic, and for the
street stuff,
for the narrative, I used the Panasonic.
And then how did you not get blood on it?
Oh yeah.
Or did you?
No, I did.
So I think I've ruined a couple of lenses at GWAR shows. I'm trying to figure out like the best way to go about that.
I had a custom bag. I should grab it.
Really?
Let me grab.
Yeah, I'd love to see this because I need recommendations. I can't keep ruining lenses. I can't afford them.
Yeah.
I just got a brand new one and I'm afraid to bring it to a GWAR show.
Yeah, I hear that. I was encouraging him to spray my lens, and I was like, "You can spray it," and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Fine."
I mean, I love the shots of the blood coming towards me, but then I don't know. And a couple weeks later, when the lens is failing, it's like, oh no.
Well, I bought two UV. I bought two UV. Protectors for the camera.
Okay.
So I'm saying it's like, that type of vibe.
Right.
And so there's a UV protector on it, so there's not going to be blood on the actual lens. But then what's doing a lot of the heavy lifting is a custom bag.
Oh my God.
That like fits on it. So, and that's kind of hard to see.
So you made that?
No, this is a it's custom to the camera, not customized by me, but
interesting.
Just to do it quickly because it fits on there pretty tight. And I should just share my BTS photos.
Well, I think I have some of those. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what I got. I know you sent me a few things, or I stole a few things.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just these. I think it's just these two.
Yeah. But there's no blood in that one. So basically, something like that,
Wow.
And the viewfinder goes through here.
Do they make those for Canons? Because I should buy one. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they probably do. I got it from B&H. What kind of camera do you have? Like a
Canon 6D.
Yeah, they probably make that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and I I'm in New York, so B&H, that's my go-to.
Yeah, that's where I got this. It was just
that place is crazy. You ever been there in person?
Only once. So it's called Porta-Brace is the brand.
Okay, Porta-Brace. Sure, I've heard of that.
But whatever, you can imagine there's.
We get it. Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Great.
But yeah, that was a.
So, all right. Well, oh, you got muted. Technical difficulties. There we go.
Okay. Sorry,
Tell
earpiece
me
is
about the Waffle House.
Yeah, the Waffle House. So that was also the first night after going to War Bar, went to Waffle House, and we were like, we should film here. But that was actually the first shot we got. I know I said it was a pro shot. That was the first shot we got. And also, I guess I can answer one of the most difficult, as far as difficult things to shoot. It was just me, Matt, and Tommy, and we rolled out to a Waffle House, and
Right, so I can show this again. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And my first instinct was just to send them in there and just film it through the window. And Matt was like, "Let's go talk to them." And I'm like, "What? No, just like film it. It'll be like in and out before it's over." But it was just a very telling approach of. I had to like default to him, like, "You're from here, man. You know how people are gonna
Yeah,
take."
do they probably know who they are, right?
And what was crazy is he walked in and he asked if he could film in there, and they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Would it matter?" Like, I wasn't planning on going in with the camera. And they're like, "Oh, let me ask again." I'm like, "I'm not gonna say yes." And they're like, "They said it was fine." I'm like, "All right."
Wow.
And the people loved it. They were all about it.
Yeah.
People in there, and I did I put mics on them just in case. So I have that footage too floating around.
Oh, that's fun.
But I had Tommy had an earpiece in. You're not earpiece, but is earpod.
And it was open? Because is it like a 24-hour Waffle House?
Yeah, it was open.
That's great.
Yeah, we just like went in and shot it, and the people were all about it, and someone posted on Instagram, which was fun. But yeah, a lot of people knew who it was. Some kid in the parking lot asked to take a photo with Matt and Tommy, and then he's like, "I hope you guys make it. I hope you guys become famous."
It's like, man,
like,
you don't know the history of your
I know,
own
like,
town
well,
here.
maybe if you're in Richmond, we are in Richmond. Never mind.
Yeah, yikes.
But, yeah.
That's funny. All right, wow. Well, is there anything else about the Lot Lizard video we should talk about? I think we touched on most of it.
Yeah, that hotel room was really gross.
Mm.
We got that like an $80 hotel room. Smelled like puke. Used it for an hour and like got the key for 40, an hour and 45 minutes, and then turned the key back in. We're like, we're done. Didn't tell them we're shooting. That was a fun one. I don't know. The pit was super impressive. It was really cool. It's just one of the coolest places to be.
I still never been there. Yeah, one of these days, hopefully.
It's just so cool, and just all the guys were just so great. I mean, and girls, and Margaret was great too. It's just
I need to get Margaret on the show. Margaret, come on the show.
Yes, it was cool. They're and they're working on all the new costumes, so that was like just such a cool.
Yo, Tommy's new costume is gnarly.
I know, dude. Yeah, it's nasty. But just having access to that talented of people where you're like, we need an egg. Can we do an egg? They're like, all right.
Yeah.
they whip it up and they're just to be around that many people who are that far behind as you are. And just that much dedication and just how, I don't know. It was very cool to making the sets, like the band performance took place at the Slave Pit. We had to like order all the stuff online and just try to picture in our mind's eye and hang it up as we went. And got there, looked for locations around Richmond. Started with Google image searches and just Yelp searches, and then went there and kind of vibed it out and see where we could shoot. And
so it was real punk rock like style production.
For sure it was. And
I mean, it seems so obvious. It's like, yes, it's a monster killing a bunch of people. That's fucking what GWAR is, That's what we want to see from them.
Yeah, exactly. And dead babies.
And crazy dicks and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun to convince. Yeah, it was fun to get Bishop to do that. He was so game about it. But it was just like he was just looking for an ally and trying to we were like, you should just go naked. And he's like, oh, come on. Looking ally and couldn't find one. But just really brought it and was just so funny, funny about it. Yeah, everything was so cool. And
Well, yeah, let's I have another question. I'd love to see the animatic
Animatic or
or
plasma?
plasma.
Have I ever
Will that ever
posted
be
anywhere?
posted anywhere?
I could probably post it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll send it.
And also, I'm going into my first year of animation college. Any advice for young persons trying to break into the moving image industry? No.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess just as much should be advice for anything is be focusing on how to self-distribute and self-reliant without sitting around waiting for a gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Just like any kind of way you could be like, well, I'm doing this thing one way or another, and like hopefully it hopefully it finds a home instead of
Have lots of patience, I imagine.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
doing
lots of
animating. Yeah.
well, lots of patience, but just knowing that like it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's like 1 + 1 equals this direction. Just like you just kind of I feel like if you just going to school and getting as many skills is obviously where you need to start. But once you do that, I think the next step is to I don't know. I can't imagine there being They're not jobs. Is there jobs? But I mean, jobs come around. But I don't. I haven't got them. I haven't really gotten one from applying. I gotten one from making stuff and people seeing those and showcasing it, and being available and
being cool.
Being cool. Yes. Yeah. Just and just not
you
not
can't
dividing.
hang. People don't want to work with you.
No, absolutely. I mean, attitude is almost like 90% of it, right? And this, but
Right.
it's yeah, just knowing that I guess the way I keep my sanity in it all is to not differentiate any of the tasks that I'm doing from a paid job to unadulterated fun thing with GWAR. It's all just like one part of the career, and you just like have to keep doing it. And I guess the biggest advice is if you could do anything else, do it.
And this is another good question. Any ideas or scenes that did not make it into the Lot Lizard video?
Yeah, let me think. Gosh, I know there's one that was stupid.
Stupid GWAR? No way. Well, maybe you'll remember it.
I'm trying to think. So, nothing that's popping into my mind right now. But I know there has to be.
Well, if you think of any by the end of the show, we'll start landing the plane. I know. How you feeling? You still feeling
I'm good. Yeah, I'm chilling.
Okay, cool. As I don't know how much of a controversial topic this is, but I have to talk about Cancer Christ. I mean, you made a couple videos with Cancer Christ, and that album is fucking incredible. It's just sometimes just in a loop in my car, and I'm just like, do you wanna see a dead fucking body? Oh my god. And I never got to see them. They were about to play this tiny club in New Jersey called Dingbats, and I was gonna go see them and probably take some pictures and whatever. And I don't know all the details, but I know that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah,
but I do want to talk about them as music videos.
No, I have a lot of involvement in Cancer Christ for sure. I was there. I shot their first video.
Yeah.
And
so which one was that?
I shot their first and last video. It was
Blood of Jesus.
Blood of Jesus, where we just
and there was 2 versions of that video. Did you do both of them?
Yeah, I did both versions of the video.
What?
Because there's only like one official. Well, no, I guess that one is official. That was a video. So that started with Anthony.
Let's watch them. Well, I'm gonna play the demo version first, I guess.
Do it. It's crazy.
Yeah, all these videos are crazy. I love these videos. Whoa! It comes in like a bullet.
Yeah, that's the day of Anthony. Has short hair. That's Seth. That's Seth from Swidpisser pretending to be the drummer.
Okay.
So that was by the role rehearsal space. I think that's where they played their first show underneath that bridge.
Yeah,
but it's before their first show. So it was. Anthony was during COVID again. I was hanging out with Tommy a lot, and Anthony was trying to put together a compilation with all the bands who couldn't play, and that Tommy got pretty. And then Cancer Christ was going to be like a 2-song joke thing on it, and that's what it was. This song and one other.
Is that Tommy what made up the 7-inch?
Yeah, exactly.
on? Yeah.
Exactly. And so they recorded those songs and they put their other buddies on it. And then we had this and we went and shot this. And then who was it? It was I don't want to misquote it, but somebody has a big podcast that was doing like a video competition. Was it
I don't know about.
who's the bass player Olympus get?
Oh, you mean the guitar player, West Borland?
Yeah, was it West Portland's perhaps? But they did a competition
Okay.
and they kind of gave them a shout out, which I think kind of
Cool.
invigorated them to do some more videos, and then they did some shows, and then that's what really kind of kicked it off.
Yeah.
Was doing those shows with the flamethrowers and the live energy and just kind
I
of coming out.
know. I wanted to see the flamethrower.
Coming out
And
of it,
I missed the show they did with GWAR too for
I know.
for family reasons.
In a post-COVID world, the kids, it was just like going to these shows under bridges and in abandoned warehouses. It was just I have some videos of that.
And did you like what
Yeah.
can you?
This one. This is
the same song but a different version, right?
Yeah, there's a place called Church of Fun.
Okay.
And yeah. And I shot this all live just by myself, and it's cool because it looks like it's not shot by just one person, I guess.
Right.
I'm just running through the pit and just doing it all and just cutting to cuts, takes where his mouth's not, having lip flap or saying anything specific.
And what a great band to film, like just a
Yeah.
visual feat,
Yeah, I have a really cool on my Instagram, but yeah.
Did you have any
and I-
conversations with them about like the concept of this band and everything?
No,
like
I mean,
that?
I spent a lot of time with this band because
Yeah.
There's a couple people that were in the Manx that were in it at one point, and
Okay.
and I don't know. Sorry.
I just
yeah.
think it's rocked so hard.
I know,
Like
it really does.
I like Squid Pisser, but I
was-
feel like this one works for me a little bit more.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. So I was getting distracted. Getting distracted. by
Yeah,
the
I mean it's
video.
easily
It's just
distracting.
like,
Luckily, these are all like 1 minute
It-
videos.
It was awesome. I believe the origin of that band, was like a YouTube clip of somebody leaving. I think like going to a church service when things that wasn't what you're supposed to be doing or whatever.
Right,
and
okay.
interviewing on the local news, and the lady just being unapologetic about it, being like, nope, I have the blood of Jesus. I have the blood of Jesus. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about COVID. Nope, I got the blood of Jesus. And they're like, fucking blood of Jesus.
Okay.
It's this dumb thing. And it just really resonated with kids, and especially as I think that's one thing that stood out. It felt like a lot of kids first show, because it really was between the ages of they started when they're they go into COVID when they're 15 and now they're 18.
Right, that is
and
interesting.
it was just and the venues weren't quite there, so it was just I went to what was it called, Circus of Disgust with them, and the guy met the guy who was opening the venue, which was just a guy with a deadbolt cutting the lock and being like, we're in here now.
Okay. Wow.
And it was an abandoned factory with the roof burnt down, and they started a big bonfire, and it was great. It was a really
Man,
cool
I'm
thing.
so mad that I never got to see them.
Yeah, well, it's okay, but
Yeah.
it all didn't end so hot.
Yeah, I don't know all the details. I don't know if I want to know all the details. It's probably not the best place to talk
Yeah.
about them anyways.
Yeah,
But
don't-
that's what a bummer, man. Talk about something that burns so brightly, so quickly, just just a flash fire, just bam.
Yeah.
And then the
exactly.
album, they're not even a band by the time the album came out. It was
Yeah, I
oh
know.
no.
I know it's completely it's unnecessary, but ultimately for the best.
Yeah.
It was very avoidable, but unnecessary, but ultimately for the best.
Well, let's while we're talking, I want to play this one too. Right, Baptized.
Baptized.
This is like the masterpiece, right?
Yeah, that's the.
This is like when they had the full concept going.
Exactly. Yeah, and just finally got to do it.
They have two drummers in this video.
Exactly.
And these girls
Yeah.
Is this the same like bridge or what?
This is different. This is up in It was outside of the city.
Did you ever feel in danger of getting caught on fire?
Yeah, but only the first time.
Really?
Kinda.
Well, he was
honestly.
pretty good. He was pretty good aiming that flamethrower.
I mean, I was never not. I was like that first shoot, the first video we watched. It really was like, "Here, get this," and was like, just starts like, like, "Can you get this real quick?" I'm like, "No, I can't get this real quick.
Right.
I gotta change lenses and stuff." But gained confidence about it. Gained confidence with the whole thing as it went. But
Sorry, I have to head back to this part.
I
It's
know.
just like this is the best part of the whole record, I think.
yeah,
And he's like was actually doing this to people at shows all the time too.
all the
right?
time, yeah. And I got a lot of those films.
Yeah, did you shoot them live a lot? Is there
Yeah.
is there like cancer
Nonstop. I went on- I
stuff
went-
that
I went-
nobody's ever seen?
I have hard drives. I was going to show you a hard drive, but that's not interesting content. This is kind of this one. I have hard
I
drives.
can visualize it.
But yeah, but I have a lot of shows that weren't filmed, and then on top of that, I have a lot of the meltdown. I have the Anthony's meltdown and his Instagram meltdown. In its
I mean, I was
entirety.
watching his live stuff periodically
Yeah.
as that was happening. I was just like, something weird is going on, and I
Yeah.
can't tell if this is in character or out of. I don't know him at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was just so close to it at the time, and but whatever. Again, not to get to it too deep, but
Is he like? I don't know if you're in touch or anything, but is he okay? I know.
He's in jail.
Right, I know that. I mean, I
Coastal
don't
County
know if he
Jail.
was still there, but
I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him in over a year, so I wouldn't know how he's doing.
Okay.
But I could only speculate on what I hear. But I recorded his. I mean, he was live streaming every day as that disintegrated, and I, for several reasons, just knew I needed to capture it all. So I
think it would make a good documentary one day.
Yeah, I just don't know what it's about yet.
Right. That's
But
the story may still be unfolding in some,
Exactly. I just don't know what the whole story is, and that's like why it's hard to touch upon it at this point.
Sure.
But it's like I know it's
It's like the interviews they did, even with him and Tommy, like the podcasts, like it was very intelligent, like the way they were approaching it, it seemed like, and the whole concept. And I was like, wow, this really works. This is like totally works.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I mean, I think that's after going to Vegas. One of the first times I saw them like blow up was Psycho Fest in Vegas, which was really cool because it was at Resorts World in Las Vegas, which is one of Marriott's biggest property. It was at Hilton, who cares? But one of their giant properties, and nothing but metalheads, wall to wall, like inside a beautiful palatial, Vegas mega suite, mega casino.
Wasn't Danzig playing?
I mean, King Diamond played like
cool.
It was like God, it was a huge one. But like, and I had a bunch of friends bands out there. But we they were playing this place called the whatever. It was just like this sports bar, and I was just in Vegas a couple months before that, and I was like, wait, that's like in a strip mall basically. Like, how is Cancer Christ like we're filming these bonfire shows and everybody's, what the fuck's this gonna look like? And it's like the time slot was 2 a.m.
Nice.
The day,
Okay.
and it was on, like, let's say the festival was Friday through Sunday or whatever, and it was like on a Thursday at 2 a.m. And the band before was like, oh, there's the venue, okay, and there's like a handful of people. It's like, oh, this is gonna be fucking so cringe. And then went to the back room and they all got ready, and it was like, it's filling out. Oh shit, it's filling out. Oh my god, people are showing up for them. And it really was like such a crazy moment of just like seeing it to like, the people were showing up to these other weird underground shows because they're underground, fucking thing to do, and it's like discovering them there. But it was like, oh, they're starting to get a buzz. People are hearing this. This is really
I
interesting.
imagine that's when like the main acts had just ended and everyone's just like migrating somewhere else.
It was like the day before the festival too,
okay.
actually. So it was like nothing was happening. It was like people got there and it was kind of like, oh, the festival starts tomorrow. Oh, I'm already here. Let's go to this thing.
Right,
Same kind of thing. But they then the next day after that they played off the strip. They played the Barrio Bowl, which is like some kind of punk house with a with a drained out swimming pool, and it was like just the
Cool.
contrast of those two shows, and it was just really cool to see the ascension of all that, and not surprised it is where it is, but yeah, it's unfortunate, and hopefully it all works out
Right.
for the best. But I got the footage, so we'll watch it together one day.
Yeah, that's what's important. It's been documented, and
It's
that's
been
important. Even if
documented.
I can't see it right now, it's like it's important to know that this stuff exists and who has it. You know.
It just got so weird. I mean, it was just me and my wife filming it. She just she'd get up earlier than me, and I go to bed later than her, so just always screen recording it and then archiving it just in case. But I, again, just don't know like where that story ends, and isn't my story to tell at this point. But it
Right.
was just like watching it, being like, this is he okay as part of it? This
Right.
is fascinating as part of it. Is
Right.
like, is he
Yeah.
gonna do something
Is
really
this like
crazy? Like,
is this like some sort of Andy Kaufman thing? You know.
exactly. And people were watching it. Yeah, I can see people see it like that. Yeah, but then it started. It went on for such a long time that by the end of it, it was like, I'm the only, like, it's me and one other person watching right now.
Sometimes that might have
Is this-
been me. I would just check in every once in a while and just be like, "What's
It was just
happening?"
exactly. It was just like me and you, Kevin, at like 3 in the
Yeah.
morning. And I'm like, I gotta record this, man.
Or he's be just like eating breakfast somewhere, just
Yeah,
like
exactly. And crying about his dad and eating a
loud. It's
burrito.
like, okay, dude, whatever.
Chain smoking cigarettes and dancing to Chaperone or something. You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
Well, I mean, hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Um.
I guess that's not. I guess that's not the least of it.
Wow. Yes,
But
I think. Yeah, I think. Thank you for joining, you guys. I got some comments here.
Yeah.
People are falling asleep. No, don't fall asleep. It's fine. Stay up for the moon power.
Yeah, power of the moon.
Oh yeah, we'll stay. I mean, this is pretty much the end. I think we hit all the marks. So you're in LA, right?
Yeah.
Do you go
Hollywood.
see other like cool weird bands? You know the Chicken Heads?
Mm-mm.
You don't know the Radioactive Chicken Heads?
Oh no. Yeah, I do. I don't want to pose. No, I don't know them.
Oh wow. Well,
I wrote this down. And
you
did I
probably, I
embarrass
think
myself?
they're in your wheelhouse of weird concept bands. They've been going for like 30 something years. I was a member for a short while.
That's sick.
Not exactly an offshoot of Green Jello, but sort of in the same camp.
Sick.
Yeah, and they wear like giant chicken heads, and you know, and the singer is a giant carrot, and it's crazy. Yeah,
Oh, okay. No.
You gotta have heard of them. I mean, they've been around for like 30 years.
Yes, I have.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so now what was your light bulb moment? How do you know them? I'm just thinking like, okay, you're in the weird bands comedy scene in LA, like this must have come across your radar at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was a touring member in 2008.
Cool. I think I might have seen him play at a thing once, but I don't want to get it wrong. But I'm sure I have. But no, but not.
Or are there any
her.
other you know, cool bands that you like in the area that you want to give a shout out or have people check out?
Yeah, I mean, just all the sweatband stuff I'm working on. Shimon cassette. Well, and man, I wish I could give some more band shout outs.
That's okay. You guys start more bands.
I got Punch going on, but they're not there's Bay Area band, but yeah. Like I said, I that is the truth. I grew up listening to more punk than metal.
Sure.
That's not that it makes you not a GWAR fan, but just as
well,
far
GWAR is really a punk band that pretends to be a metal band. That's like the origin of GWAR. So
yeah,
I think they still kind of keep to those roots ideology, especially with the
the DIY aspect
and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I guess I should.
What bands do you want to shout out?
What do I want to shout out? My friends, the Manimals, who I filmed the other night. I do some videos and stuff for them. They're kind of I guess there's some bit of a concept behind them in New York City. Got go check out the Manimals. That's my shout out. They've been on the show. Go check. And yeah, well, I think that's about it. Let's go. Can you join me for a little bit of GWAR news while we end the show? Because GWAR is up to a lot, man. Well, first of all, I just saw them. Let's see. Let me go back.
They're playing Alaska at some point.
They're playing Alaska. Yeah, I didn't even put that in my. That's crazy.
I saw that.
I saw ROG the other day. It was great because a lot of people there had no idea that ROG was actually GWAR. They were like, "That's actually them." I'm like, "Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Really?
I didn't know that either. It was even within the being around them, and then the way it was contextualized to me as it being a tribute band.
Well, yeah,
And
that's the joke.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But
Right.
they said it in complete earnest. That I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Well, it's so funny
And they had
because
the flyer on their refrigerator at the pit, and I was like, "Oh, cool. I guess it's a tribute band that like they're close to." And then it was like, my wife's like, "Why are they playing without their masks on?" I'm like, "Oh."
yeah. I mean, they've been doing that for a long time, although it's the first time I've seen it. Partially because of the pandemic. They were supposed to do this at St. Vitus in Brooklyn, like 4 years ago, but COVID happened and then St. Vitus closed, so might as well have it on a boat. Cool. That was a lot of fun. There's pictures, you guys. I took some pictures on my Flickr. Go check them out. Anyways, Lot Lizard video is out now. Here's the return of Gorgor. You can pre-order. I mean, what a cool cover. It's a record and a comic book and a toy. There's a toy involved.
There's a plushie.
The plushie. I don't like I said, I got to expand my GWAR cave. Static X tour is coming up real soon. I know I have tickets for one of these shows. I don't remember which one.
Where are you going?
No, that's a little too far. Either I think Connecticut probably is the one I'm going to, because that's like within 2 hours. Buffalo's like 4 or 5 hours from me. Static X I've never seen before, but that's cool. And then I know they're gonna do a fall tour headlining at some point after that. Here's some solo dates they're doing. Just 40th anniversary stuff. We got GWAR coffee. I haven't tried that yet, but that's a thing that's happening now. Berserker mode. Go spend all your money at the GWAR store. This is brand new. This is happening. I guess on the 20th. There's a new toy.
Why was he blue for a minute? And now he's silver again? Did I see
Well,
this
look,
right?
there's actually going to be. Oh, I did this in the wrong order, but there's going to be different variations.
But
I guess.
Do you see but you saw the ball sack being blue, and then now the most recent, did they change it back to silver? Did you see this or no?
Well, I think this is probably just before the spray. I'm not sure.
I'm not talking about. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I thought maybe I saw this wrong, but
I think that's a variation.
Not talking about these like plushies. I'm talking about like when they did the photo of their new.
Oh yeah, he's
new
blue
costumes.
now. Yeah, he's blue now.
I saw a festival, which I thought was after, and I thought he changed to silver. Like they made the blue silver. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I heard they were making
and
it.
I saw his guitar was changed to be silver, but it was like as if they whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I know. I think they were in process of finishing all the costumes. I think it's going to be glow in the dark at some point. His costume.
Oh, sick.
So I don't know if that has something to do with it. But this is something that's gonna happen. This little toy is happening. That's pretty exciting. Mischief Toys. And by the way, I don't have a date yet, but they will be on the show to talk about it at some point. So stay tuned for that. There's a pin going on with them. Oh, and talking about tribute bands, have you heard of this? Faith No GWAR. This is a tribute band to both Faith No More and GWAR, but they have their own concept involved, and it's led by Piggy D, who is now in Marilyn Manson and used to be in Rob Zombie's band. And that's just fucking wild, dude. I don't know how something like this can exist. Are you a fan of Faith No More?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're, I guess, a tribute band to both bands, and they're fitting it together in some weird way. And they will also be on the show.
That's so funny.
Stay tuned. I'm gonna grill him about this weird world we live in, where there's a band called Faith No GWAR,
Whiskey a Go-Go, no
at the
less.
Whiskey a Go-Go, and like look at all the
Big clowns.
they got like the whole image and like promo shoots. Like they're taking this tribute band very seriously, and I'm fascinated by that. I mean, and he's on tour with Marilyn Manson right now, so I guess when he's home, we'll have him on the show. I think hopefully before this performance, so we can grill him about it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see it, being that I'm in New York, but what a weird world we live in. And then of course the actual GWAR toys are still probably going to come out soon. I think that's supposed to happen in the summer. There's a lot of GWAR stuff happening. It's pretty overwhelming, and I don't have enough money to give them. And of course, go check out my last show with Brad Roberts. That was a lot of fun. Hunter Jackson was on again recently. Bob Gorman. Go check out the archive, guys. These are all very fascinating conversations. And of course, here's my documentary that I'm making. That GWAR is definitely a topic in the Life and Slimes of Dookie Fleischwater and Haunted Garage. And I'm going to tell those Faith No GWAR guys, I have a member of Faith No More in this documentary talking about GWAR. So that's like
cool.
The whole thesis right there or something. I don't know. It's like you ever see PCU when the guy's like, I can stop watching TV.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, the things have been combined. And here's my
That's
thesis
so funny.
statement, you know?
Yeah, pins and needles.
Yes, pins and needles. Go check out my album. I'm working on new music with the rock band, but go check out my weird solo stuff and some of my other GWARPod podcasts. If you like B movies, Jane Jensen interviewed me on my birthday. She was, of course, Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, and also does a song with me on my record. Lots of stuff happening. Keep Pop Perversion. That's the band I'm working on right now. Go follow us. Eventually there will be content. Is there anything you want to plug for yourself?
Well, one thing we got coming on the horizon, we'll see if it ever makes the light of day, but me and Grodius made a comedy show.
Oh,
comedy
as Grodius?
As Grodius, called Grodius Maximus Does the Dishes.
Okay.
But
you heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. Something we made internally and share with GWAR, but hoping to do more some kind of content with GWAR with some narrative with some music mixed in, variety type of weird.
Is it like a Grodius talk show, or what's the deal?
It's like a Grodius talk show. Yep.
Cool.
It's like a Grodius talk show, but we also get out in the real world and visit a hot dog stand. We go and to Larry's Chili Dogs. We go to a little video store called Be Kind Video. I think Grodius in this episode, this little pilot thing we made is running away from Dolly the dolphin, who's trying to get a child support. He's doing his talk show, and then Dolly the dolphin shows up, and he has to go to the VHS store to go return some VHS tapes to try to avoid her. And
I've seen that in a movie before.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a weird little thing, and hoping to do some stuff like that with more members of GWAR, but something we're sharing internally at this point, and hopefully, I'm not sure where all that's sitting right now, but if not that, that's the thing. Grodius Does the Dishes, hopefully coming out someday or never.
Amazing.
or in the future.
In your dreams.
The future.
Yeah.
I'll send you a copy.
Future. Cool.
Maybe not. No,
I won't tell anyone.
A future
Never.
Santa.
Yeah, Stein, I'm just messing with you here. It's fine. You can go to sleep. You can watch this on the reruns. It'll be live on YouTube as soon as we finish this stream. Katie says the coffee is great. I need to get some. Someone ordered me some coffee. I drink coffee. And the newest Balzac is still blue. The silver photo was just a weird color correction.
Yeah, I was wondering.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, the costumes are
great.
I
was picking up that his guitar was a different color too, because I was like, I recognized the guitar from the music video because he has that, and I was like, whatever, and I was like, oh well, we got it custom. I just didn't know if they pivoted on that, but that's cool. Yeah, it looks cool. He's a nice character now. It's awesome.
Yeah, works for me. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. They all have the kind of their own color scheme now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole spectrum.
Whole
Cool. Well, I think we
spectrum.
did it. Thank you so much for being here and sharing some
Eh.
knowledge on the new Guar music video, Lot Loser.
Tally up.
Check it out. Give it some views. Yeah. And like, share, subscribe, comment below. I think that's as low as he goes. So I got to do my post-show song here, which is related because I have Andrew WK in there. It looks like he's got a flurry of. I think
just his
back.
birthday.
He's back, guys. Andrew WK is back. There's a whole lore of that. That's a whole nother podcast, but
Gonna party hard.
yes, party hard, and like, share, subscribe, and comment below.
Like, share.